quite a straightforward job to do. You find the bushes behind each front wheel, just looking along the anti-roll bar as circled here. They're held in place by a plate on each side, 3 14mm bolts, but don't pay any attention to the subframe bolt that comes through the hole on that plate. So just going to undo this now. For this demonstration I'm going to remove the entire plate. You don't need to do that. You just want to give it enough room to let the bush decompress and to give you a bit of room to wiggle the old bush out of the way and get the new one in. There is a cutout in that plate that you see between the 2 bolts that the bush has to sit into, so you kind of need to loosen it enough to get everything to sort of fit together there. It's helpful to undo the anti-roll bar drop links at the front as well, just to give you room to allow the anti-roll bar to wiggle around and drop down a little bit. Gives you more access when removing your bush. So I've done that here. Anti-roll bar's loose, the plate's been removed on this side, the old bush is bonded in place just a bit through age and degradation, so a little bit of a job to wiggle that out. So I'm just moving the anti-roll bar there, drop it down a bit, and I'm going to use a flat blade now just to help push it along. And as you'll see, once it's started moving, you'll be able to just wiggle it out the way and then pull the old bush free. There we go. A bit misshapen, this is causing a little bit of a clunky knocking noise, and as you see there is a marking saying L out for the left side outwards, so the part numbers are slightly different, so 51306 for the right, the 51307 for the left, and there's the 2 side by side. You'll see how much smaller the new bush looks on the whole. So I'm lubing that up, and I'm just going to put it back in the same way it came out. A little bit of a trick to doing this, but you just want to make sure you can get it round the anti-roll bar first, then sort of rotate it round into place, into the housing, and again just helping it in there. Once it's in place, it should be relatively easy to wiggle it around to where it needs to be. So because I've taken the plate off here just to demonstrate, it does only go back on one way. The cutout in the plate needs to locate with that little protrusion on the bottom of the anti-roll bar bush. So if you line that up, you notice that the bolt holes won't line up, so there is only one way around doing this. So this is going to be really difficult to get wrong, even if you did take this off, providing you don't end up with both sides in your hand. But as you'll see here, with it located correctly, the bolt holes will all line up. So all we need to do now is put the bolts back in and get everything lined up. Just want to make sure the bush doesn't move and that it still stays located with that little protrusion on the bottom. So slowly start to tighten up progressively, and then once it's sort of seated in place, give it a check, make sure it's still in as it should be, and then you can tighten these all the way up, and they'll go to around 60 Newton meters. You then just need to repeat this on the other side. Obviously an easier job if you've had the anti-roll bar links off recently or changed them recently, because they'll unbolt easier. As you'll see here, there's the old bushes, so a little bit worn and crazed, but this solved a little bit of a clunky knocking noise on the front over bumps in the road. Like and subscribe for more.